Right, so let's continue a little technical difficulties. So I hope we'll go through it again. But so it say for it was a cursed seed from the beginning. Neither didst thou for fear of any man give them pardon of those things wherein they sin. Right? Verse 12. It says, for who shall say, what hast thou done? Or who shall withstand thy judgment? Or who shall accuse thee for the nations that perish, whom thou hast made? Or who shall come to stand against thee to be revenged for the unrighteous men? So who that all these things was questioning me not? Who wants to stand in the midst of the Lord and stand up against him? No one. How could the clay, right, tell the potter what to do? That wouldn't make sense. He formed everything. Right? So it can't do that. Right? So it say, for neither is there any God but thou that careth for all, to whom thou mightest show that a judgment is not unright. Yes, but the Lord's judgment is not unright. There's a reason why these judgments happen. Right? The reason why this take place. Because of what? Of wickedness that's been done. Right? There you are, go back to the book of Deuteronomy. Right? Deuteronomy 32, right? 32, verse 4. It says, he is the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment, a God of truth and without iniquity, just and right is he. So none of his ways is unright. You know? All his ways are judgment, and they what? They serve their purpose then, whether it be good or bad. All his ways are judgment. Right?
Serve his will.
It serve his will.
Let his will,
his purpose.
His will be done. That's what the prayer say, right? As it is in heaven.
It shall be done in earth. Well, I see what I'm saying. How judgment is good. Piece by piece, little by little. Everything will happen one time.
Because as we apocrypha there, so can I just 16, start from 18,
16,
from
18, right?
Yeah. So, the grand scheme of things, once again, Jake will be Jake. I mean, the girls will be Negroes. And they will seek wickedness. You know, when I said malice was bred in them, you understand? So, born in sin, shaped in iniquity, you know? And that is what, regardless of us doing our job, because all we come out here to do, speak down in the ears of my people, I will say, I will continue. You know what I mean? Return Israel back to the Lord. Isaiah 47 or 45, I believe. Yeah. You understand? Get them warning. It's a watchman. So, look for danger and then warn the city. If you don't warn the city, then blood on me. You know? So, what we're doing here is twofold. We're not just warning people, but we also cleansing the blood of order. So, we will be held accountable. You know? For what is about to happen. Not if, but if. It's just when. Like the only question. When.
Yeah, it's not if or maybe. Just when.
When it will happen.
When these things will happen.
And the more the excellent wickedness and idolatry and giving the glory of the Creator to creation. You know what I mean? It just, you know, long time as a child, you know, I used to say, because that's piling up, the judgment just piling up. You know what I mean? Until I see what I say, the boy reach. You know?
You know, to they say, how do I say it by, is sent on the holy fire, Tava song, or something like that, yeah. Until the holy fire come down.
Right, so it's 2nd Ezra chapter 16, and I will read from verse 17. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?
Yeah, and the Ezra we talking about is a holy man, and he don't want to know, but he want to deliver me in those days. And the reason he asking the question is because what? He seeing it, how to put it, like ball by ball play, he getting the vision. Everything that happening, he see it.
The kind of things he's seeing there, he
couldn't believe it's such great destruction, maybe. You understand? Like, he had no questioning. Who go save me in that time, man? Who? Because to see it so, these are things you don't know about. You understand? You never see a rocket, you never see an aeroplane. But you see this thing flying, this kind as a compartment open up, it's fire. You understand? You want to know about what really going on here? You know? What?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the next thing people don't put into consideration too, that when these men were seeing these visions, they're seeing things that
Hundreds, centuries after the time.
And then when they write it as they
Interpret it.
interpret
You
it.
know what I mean? So when it was Jeremiah, and Jeremiah where describe the child when you see a mountain and couldn't see the end of the mountain.
Jeremiah or thing mentioned that. Ezra's mentioned that.
It's just how come like that and then Jeremiah about something like the mountain and couldn't see the end there.
It's probably on there.
Right? What you mean to say is, by seeing this thing so big, I know it start away done. Well, I know it's like a mountain. Because to them, a mountain is the biggest thing you know, a mountain. You know what I mean? They've never seen no 100-foot building, no, what is called the building by the Khalifa, whoever, tallest building in the world. So them know about that, but them know the tallest thing on the planet is a mountain, so that only could compare it to.
Or the biggest thing in the world is a mountain.
That is what the brother is saying. They could only describe it as much as they could interpret it in their life. You know?
If I could say, you know, one thing when reading the scriptures is that people have to understand how things was, right? Like in Ezra's time, he understand how things was, how Israel was. So when he get the vision to see the low estate that Israel in, right? Because we have of this time, let me say it pay that way. We could have see how much society depreciate.
Yeah, but you see, it all comes from Esau as well. Remember when you read the Maccabees, scripture said it, when this nation come, evils were multiplied.
Right.
No, it had evils before, but when them hit, it's evils that you never see before, you know. And it come like no, sin is on a high increase. You know, wickedness is. I mean, the scriptures mention them. It give a different description of Esau. Call him the bloody man, the violent man. Call them, the scriptures call them like hell and death, you know, the vile, you know, the son of perdition, all these names, the basis of men,
border wickedness.
Border wickedness. So think about it when this leadership come into rule, you know, the things that they do from since then to even know, you know.
To be described as that.
To be described as that.
And back in them time in their language, when they use words like that, them trying to call you the worst of the words.
The worst of the words, the same.
But yeah, I walk and he call them vipers. Yeah. That was lighting ever man call you a viper in this and study that.
Or we did call the woman a fox.
Yeah.
Right. And
there is no lighting.
There is no lighting. Back then there was no lighting. That is the worst somebody could call it. What?
Swords might have joy, yeah.
As a viper. To call a lady a fox type of, you know, the sly, two-faced kind of, you know what I mean? It's exactly what you see. In them time and all, a woman was repelled by she concealment of she body and she this and so when a man say get real sly, you disrespect your character.
Yes, it's the same as today. Certain words we will use, right, and it will mean it means something. Like for example, you call a woman a bitch, but bitches were a female dog. So, but when you call her a bitch, she offended. Because why? You get to understand the meaning of the word. So that is why when people tell everybody, Lord, you don't call a woman a fuck. You go back and look up the meaning and think of it back then.
Or go up and look up what fuck are relative to.
Even in my younger days, I remember people saying, "Hey, slide like a fox," you know, slide like a fox. You know, it can't. It words are meaning.
There was no compliment.
It was no compliment.
Yeah. Long time, you know, they used to call them like thing like Jezebel and them would have be now this generation calling themselves bad bitch and all kind of.
So words. So go back to what we saying. Words have meaning. So even back then when the Lord mentioned fox, you know. But again, that is for the men who are the ourselves. They would see that, you know. They would understand that. But for the rest, they were blind. They was talking about in Romans tell what. For the elect are obtained it, but the rest will work.
Blinded.
Right? So the second Ezra 16 and I go down to verse 18 now. They say the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Right?
What you do when you come? Because I always bring up the video that Apostle Ariam did. Right? And he was talking about this generation or the people living in this time so convenient. They know how to raise wildlife and they know how to raise chicken, they know how to be self-sufficient.
Yeah, they don't
You
know
understand?
fish,
They don't know how to go here if I get water, bring it home, filter it through, whatever, leaves, rocks, whatever, charcoal. Plenty people don't know that. You understand? What they depend on is what? Egypt.
They go watch doing those stuff. It's like having a third world mindset. That's
As a taboo.
Yeah.
Look down on here, if you do them things.
You washing clothes with the hand? Like, there's
Who does
only
that?
do that in the third world. They know that's what it is thing.
It's the 20th century.
Yeah, the 20th century,
21st
21st century. They say the 21st century.
The 21st century, 2025, you washing in your hand? No, nigga. They ain't bad there, like. Okay, yeah. You understand? A mindset of what? A complication of what? Convenience, of ease, of relaxation. Right? What you would do in the farming come? When these shelves in the grocery are empty, when military armor trucks rolling around handing out goods, and they had in there a 2 pound pack rice and say, let this last 2 months. But you are 3 children and 2 women. You understand? What you want to do in that time? What you want to do? You understand? What will you do?
And that's the question. That's the question that I ask. When these things happening, what it is he going to do? And that is a question. It's a question mark at it's the beginning of sorrows, right? You understand? You see, when you read the scriptures, as Apostle Sabbath always mentioned, when you're reading, vision it, picture it. You understand? Just read it, picture it, and picture yourself now. The scriptures mention it's the beginning of sorrows.
The beginning, eh? Make sure you remember it's the beginning. The origin, middle, or the end yet. But it's just the beginning. You know what I mean? Kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation. All these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. You know? Imagine when it hit that point, that it was break out. But this is not the end. This is just the beginning. That plenty more to come after. A lot of people after that. A lot of people after that.
So what I do right now, I just went on Google, right? And I just do, so I using the Google AI, right?
AI overview.
Yeah, the AI overview, right?
Just like a quick answer.
Yeah, quick answer. So what I did was actually just type in how do people act in the time of apocalypse. I really want to type in the time of apocalyptic scenario, but due to the fact that you know how the Bible one thing I just type in it. So I tell about apocalypse, right? So the AI over understand what it was. It say in an apocalypse, right? Right? We should just talk about the day at the end. You know? The end time, right? Apostle that was in the time the apocalypse was too. Yeah. Armageddon. Yeah, and we have it in the scriptures talk about that time as well. Right? They say in an apocalypse, human behavior would be a complex mix of pro-social cooperation, self-preservation. Now understand this, self-preservation means every man for what? For himself. Right? It say and the breakdown of social order. That means breakdown of social order means chaos. The streets will be hectic. Life would be hectic.
So you will be on the street.
Yeah. That will say
worst place to be.
That will say social order. Order just means things, you know, it's in line. But when it say the breakdown of social order, it means the order that it have, it's gone.
No more.
Yeah?
Don't feel I'm going to chat over one pass straight and you see. Mother, you're help it now. Matter of fact, give me your bag and I kick in the middle of the road or something to go along. That's what it means, every man for himself. It says it would be a complex mix of pro-social cooperation, self-preservation, and a breakdown of social order, leading to both the best and worst of humanity emerging. Right? Now we know in that time it would always be the worst. So what best will come from it? And the best basically AI would give is the help that the government would bring. Right? That is what the best that they would talk about. But we understand at that time what it is the wicked will be bringing. Yeah, what
right?
is their best?
Yeah, what is their best? It's a contrary to many fictional portrayals of immediate widespread savagery, most people would initially band together to survive. So yes, and that's basically how they would think at the beginning, because that is just the beginning. It now start, right? At the beginning, everybody has tried to work together. It's the same way people to do they're like testings of social projects, right? Where they put a group of people together to survive. And at the beginning, they all try to work together.
Yeah, the first.
You understand?
Yeah, that them like them survival shows.
Survival shows, they show you that.
Yeah. They show you, but two things are certain. There's always have a breakdown hierarchy of the hierarchy. Within like the first 24 hours, somebody feel like them should be in charge and the person in charge, you know what I mean, incompetent. And then the second thing that is shown, the woman and them, do.
Yeah, so a guy that proves that if you want to look it up, you know, as always mention it. To brothers to go and watch Bear Grylls, Man versus Woman Survival, right? There's you put men on one island, woman on one island to survive, and within the span of the first like hour, when the woman reached, they had the total breakdown, whereas the men was already done trying to organize food and fire thing. In his first hour, the woman break down, right? But no, they just a project. We're talking about a widespread of stuff. The scriptures tell you the beginning of sorrows, right? And great mourning. So it's a lot of stuff happening in between, not just one particular thing you're dealing with. There's a bunch of stuff you're dealing with, right? Not just one thing. So that's why when it say they would band together, yeah, they would band together at the beginning. Before Saturdays, yeah, they would. Just like how they was thinking here the other day. You know, they'll come together, we go help each other. No, but when food started get scarce, your food started go down, and you realize 100 men outside band together, man, yo, it's nothing. And that's what they were thinking. Yeah. You understand?
And it had a account in the scriptures already. You understand what they say? You eat my son today, and tomorrow we'll.
And what she did? She hide she own. You understand?
Man, this time they lit shears.
Yeah. It's a contrary to many fictional portrayals of immediate widespread savagery. Most people would initially band together to survive, but a persistent lack of resources and security would likely lead to increased conflict over time.
This is what I was just saying. A persistent lack, you know what I mean, of essentials, water, food. As you were saying, even 100 a week, you have 5 bottles of water and 5 slices of bread over a month. How do you want to match it? Who getting a slice of bread and how much to go? And I can't watch you get it over me, because how you can get bread and I can't get it, I can't over me. Now I'm saying it's going to increase conflict over time.
I say, but a persistent, you understand the words you're using? Persistent means it never ceases, continually, you know, getting more harsh, and that's how the Lord bringing this judgment unto you all. It will be persistent, it will never cease from what is being said. It will continue to get worse and worse and worse and worse, right? It's a cooperation and pro-social behavior, banding together. Humans are naturally social creatures who tend to work together in the face of shared adversity. In real-world disasters like hurricanes or other aftermath of war, communities often unite, share resources, and provide aid to one another, which is right. They do that because there is one particular day. One particular day, but we're talking about a scenario where things will only continue to get worse.
On a global scale.
On a global scale, meaning
that, so it's not just a hurricane happening over here and we're sure that could send goods to them, or something happened like the hurricane in Jamaica and we're sure that send it. No, we're talking about it back in Trinidad, Jamaica, Antigua, Barbados.
America,
you think of people are suffering, they have no food. All of a sudden, it have nothing. You know what I mean? It have nothing, and wherever it have, the government giving them little by little. You understand? I'll tell you that the last exorbitant amount of time. You know what I mean?
So it says strengthening, you see on cooperation and pro-social behavior. It says strengthening relationships. People will likely seek out familiar individuals and places, strengthening existing family and friend relationships as a primary survival mechanism. And that goes into what? So here we say would likely seek out familiar individuals and places. Now here when they can read that, when I come to here, we need to start 8. We found one of the word. You understand? Because now they would be looking for a familiar face to tell them, hey, these was the men who was telling them about these things that what happening right now. So they would seek out a familiar face to find an answer to what next. You know? They will be looking for the prophets in our day. Right? They will be. So starting with the watching, but I started with the scoffers and thing, and that time the scoffers will come forward for answers. They wouldn't be scoffing no more. Right? Well, that.
Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh.
Okay. So now, you hear everything? So in the midst of all the famine and the food, the disasters are taking place. You don't tell me here.
They will look for the
They
word.
will be looking for the
Because
word.
why? Something bad happened.
Yeah.
Oh God, boy. And the first thing they're going to say, oh God.
Yeah. You know, Jake, that is what more
Yeah. You can be driving down the road going home, and you're tired, boss. First thing anybody will say, oh God, boy. And the first thing anybody does, have any inconvenience, any sudden inconvenience, first 2 words, oh God, always. You understand? Without thinking, they come like breathing to them. You know? Verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. Yeah, in that time now, as you would say, only scoffers and mockers now. To scoff and to mock something, you have to know what it is. You know what I mean? So that is one. Like people who pass me and see me every time we come out to the works. Like people who subscribe to we pages on YouTube.
People who
that's what this clown talking about.
people who are aware. We are
for some
waiters.
stupid thing in the comment section, report the video for nothing. These kind of people. But you know, what is the catch? They will not be justified. They will not be defended because why? They heard that, hey, look out, trouble days coming. You know what I mean? They are the Lord there, they said right. Redemption joy at night. You know what I mean? They would have heard these things. When I be passing on the roadside, on the highways, on the byways, when I be on the internet, they would have heard. So now we have no cloak for your maliciousness. You know what I mean? It are no hiding no more. So when the time come and you realize, well, wait now, it's Sunday. I hate them fellas that come out to
Preach. With these men.
yeah, you go and give up Sunday, boy. You got to see me find them fellas know what was going on, boy. Them gonna know what to do. When they come out, they go sit down in the whole day looking for them. Never find it. You know what I mean? So in that time, is what I was doing. In that time the warning done, you know. The fishing done that time. The tide get too high for we to fish. Now it's time to hunt. Then we preparing for hunting, not for fishing. The fishing time close off. But,
Yeah. And again, and in that time, most likely, that's what they said this vehicle pass. So in that time, remember, they will seek help. And I thought they will want help. They want help from the government, they want help from things, and they will realize